And this is one good example in Sabah. When we let down our guards, this is what happened. So we hope that each and every one of us learn this lesson so that we do not repeat this again.
Peningkatan kes yang mendadak kebelakangan ini, adakah Malaysia berada dalam gelombang ketiga pandemik COVID dan apakah unjuran KKM pada kali ini? Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Kalau kita lihat istilah gelombang yang kita guna, biasanya kita menggunakan istilah gelombang kalau virus tu berjangkit secara bermusim. Tapi sekarang ni kita menggunakan istilah gelombang untuk melihat kepada virus COVID-19, dia tak ikut musim dah. Jadi musim sejuk, musim panas dia tetap ada. Dan sekarang ni kita lihat pada peringkat permulaan untuk gelombang ketiga. Jadi kes-kes telah dikesan bukan hanya negara kita tetapi juga di negara-negara lain juga menghadapi peningkatan kes-kes. Jadi apa yang kita perlu laksanakan ialah untuk membendung penularan jangkitan COVID-19 ni. Untuk membendung virus tersebut, tindakan-tindakan kita adalah amat penting. Iaitu kalau kita mengamalkan SOP, kita dapat memutuskan penularan jangkitan COVID-19. Jadi SOP telah kita siapkan untuk semua sektor dan kita harap rakyat Malaysia patuhi kepada SOP tersebut. Dan kita lihat juga sekarang ni, apa yang penting ialah kita masih berada dalam Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan Pemulihan, iaitu sehingga 31 Disember. Kita belum kembali kepada keadaan biasa lagi. Jadi sekarang ni kita pastikan untuk bersama, bertanggungjawab bersama untuk patuhi SOP yang telah diketengahkan.
Tan Sri, saya ada 3 soalan. Semalam baru-baru ni terdapat di media sosial lah, terdapat mereka yang hadiri himpunan Sri Petaling dan juga yang pulang dari luar negara yang diuji negatif mengadu berkenaan perbezaan tempoh kuarantin antara yang baru pulang daripada Sabah. Jadi mereka persoalkan mengapa terdapat double standard di situ. Dan nombor 2, semalam Tan Sri ada mengatakan RT di Selangor 1.99. Adakah KKM recommend lockdown di Selangor tak lama lagi? Nombor 3 adalah sebelum ni KKM ada kata persediaan membendung COVID-19 ni setelah dilakukan 2 minggu sebelum PRN Sabah. Tapi kenapa saringan COVID di airport hanya dibuat pada 27 hari bulan? Terima kasih.
Okey, terima kasih. 3 soalan. Jadi kalau kita nak bandingkan dengan Sri Petaling, mereka yang berkumpul di Sri Petaling telah terdedah kepada kes-kes yang berisiko. Jadi kalau mereka yang balik daripada negeri Sabah, ada yang terdedah, ada yang tidak terdedah. Jadi yang terdedah mungkin di 4 kawasan tersebut, tapi ada green zone juga. Jadi kita mengambil tindakan, bukan ada double standard. Jadi standard ialah, adakah kalau kita contohnya, kalau sekarang di Sri Petaling ialah zon merah, adakah kita akan pastikan mereka yang berada di Kuala Lumpur wilayah persekutuan akan disaring semuanya kalau keluar daripada Kuala Lumpur? Dan apabila disaring negatif, kita akan wajib atau akan tempatkan mereka kuarantin di rumah. Jadi kita melihat pada satu negeri sekarang ni, Sri Petaling adalah satu daerah yang zon merah, begitu juga Tawau satu daerah zon merah. Tetapi tindakan kita sekarang ni seolah-olah kita nak saringkan semua yang keluar daripada kawasan tersebut. Yang ini kita tak pernah lakukan. Zon merah contohnya di Ceras ataupun di Sepitaling ataupun Titi Wangsa. Adakah kita saringkan semua yang keluar pada Titi Wangsa, contohnya di zon merah, dan apabila saringan ialah negatif, kita kuarantinkan mereka. Yang ini pun kita tak pernah laksanakan. Hanya kita laksanakan ialah apabila mereka terdedah pada kes yang positif ataupun mereka ada gejala walaupun negatif dan terdedah pada kes yang positif tetapi negatif, itu kita kuarantinkan. Jadi mereka yang kumpul di Sri Petaling terdedah pada kes yang positif, ada kes rakan-rakan mereka positif, jadi kita saring ataupun kita kuarantinkan mereka untuk tempoh 14 hari. Tapi mereka yang tak terdedah kepada kawasan tersebut, contohnya di Sri Petaling tetapi di kawasan lain, adakah kita saring mereka dan kita uji, lepas tu negatif, kita kuarantinkan mereka. Jadi kita tak laksanakan kalau mereka tak terdedah kepada kes-kes yang positif. Dan kalau mereka ada gejala, kita akan asingkan dan kita kuarantinkan mereka. Jadi sekarang ni tindakan kita di Sabah seolah-olah Sabah tu satu semua mereka yang terlibat di Sabah tu adalah positif. Tapi kita hanya menjalankan pada 27 September sebagai satu kawalan surveillance kita untuk melihat, sebab kes kita dapati meningkat, dan yang terbaik ialah kita menggunakan pintu masuk antarabangsa ataupun domestik untuk mengesan kes-kes yang positif. Dan kadar kes yang positif dikesan pun tak banyak, tak meningkat. Jadi kita masih menunggu sama ada untuk tempoh 2 minggu ni kita akan meningkatkan pengesanan kes-kes yang positif di kalangan mereka yang pulang daripada negeri Sabah. Jadi untuk negeri Selangor, jadi R0 memang 1.9, tapi kawalan kesihatan atau awam telah pun dijalankan. Jadi kita harap kita dapat membendung penularan jangkitan di kalangan kes-kes yang telah dikesan dan juga kluster-kluster yang tersedia ada. Kalau kita dapat laksanakan sebagaimana kita jalankan di negeri Kedah, kita boleh kurangkan RT dia kurang dari 1. Jadi tindakan sedang aktif dijalankan di kawasan-kawasan tersebut. Jadi kalau kita dapat jalankan tindakan tersebut, masih belum lagi kita bincang sama ada kita nak perlu lockdown ataupun tidak. Itu yang di negeri Selangor. Yang kedua ialah COVID-19, kenapa kita laksanakan pada 27 September 2020. Sebagaimana saya katakan tadi, iaitu sebelum ni kita hanya dapat 1-2 kes, iaitu kes sporadik. Tetapi sekarang ni kita melihat kepada pergerakan satu negeri, iaitu untuk kita menjalankan kawalan surveillance. Dan kawalan surveillance ialah kita pertingkatkan ujian-ujian kita. Tapi kita boleh jalankan test dan test. Tetapi bila hasilnya negatif, adakah semua yang hasil negatif ni kita kena wajibkan mereka kuarantin di rumah? Walaupun kita nasihatkan mereka untuk kuarantin di rumah, tapi bukan wajib untuk mereka yang negatif dan tidak datang pada kawasan yang zon merah dan tidak terdedah kepada kes yang positif dan tidak bergejala. Ini yang kita kena lihat cara kita untuk mengesan mereka yang positif.
Yeah, good evening. I have 2 questions. First is looking at the whole world situation. Actually, many countries have already lost control, including United States, India, and some European countries. When they are facing the new wave, thousands of cases confirmed per day. And today, there is also a very shocking news. The President Trump couple has been confirmed. So, what do you think of this situation? And under this kind of pressure, are you still confident in control this pandemic? It seems impossible.
Well, if you look into this virus, the virus knows no border, and whoever you are, whether you are president, whether you are a politician, or whether you are a layperson. So, more importantly, each and every one of us must comply to the SOP. So compliance is very important. So this is a social responsibility, social discipline among us, as well as social compliance to the SOP. Now, if the president or the politician or any one of us do not comply to the SOP, then I think that that's an opportunity for the virus to spread from one person to another. The virus needs to have a close contact with individual, and then from one individual to another, that's how the virus starts to spread. That's the reason why we need to make sure that we have significant physical distancing of at least 1 meter. So if we practice that, the opportunity of the virus to transmit is less, can be reduced. And wearing a mask and continue to use a hand sanitizer and wash your hand. So I think these are evidence have shown that more than 82% of the transmission can be contained or even break with this practice from practicing the SOP. So we hope that not only the Ministry of Health or even other agencies, but each and every individual, regardless who you are, do practice the SOP. And our SOP very clearly, avoid 3C and practice 3W. It's very simple, but it's not easy to practice. So I think this is something that we need, it's a new norm for us. So if we continue to practice this, we can break the chain on infection. If we do not practice this, then the implication is what we have seen. Exactly what we have seen in whether it's in Sabah or whether in elsewhere. If we do not practice, because the virus is already in the community, and the virus need to transmit from one person to another. And if there is actually, in a crowded places, or well, it's a confined space, and the virus have the opportunity to transmit to one individual to another. So again, whether we can break this chain of infection or we can win this war is all up to us together. The rakyat, whoever we are, every one of us in this room and in Malaysia must comply to our SOP. So that's what we are asking for. Winning and losing is up to us now. We have won a few battles. Battle of the MCO, battle of the CMCO, and battle of RMCO, until we managed to bring down the cases right down to lower double digit, even single digit. And 3 days we do not have any cases. If you want to see that results, every one of us have to comply to the SOP. However, we understand whether it's the frontliners, public, and etc., there's a fatigue. Over the last 10 months, we're already on this. So we can feel the fatigue, but not the virus. The virus, the moment we let down our guards, the virus will continue to spread. And this is one good example in Sabah. When we let down our guards, this is what happened. So we hope that each and every one of us learn this lesson so that we do not repeat this again.
Yeah. From the scientific view, and because you are the leader of the containment process, and could you tell us the main differences of this wave from the first and second two? Are the virus still same or it different? People are very tired now.
We do know that this virus is not seasonal. That's one thing. And the other thing is this virus continue to spread and also to mutate. And our fear is that comes winter, I think probably we are seeing an increase of the cases in other countries. And also, once upon a time, benchmark countries, they managed to contain the infection, and they are also having the same problem. So we are looking into how we can contain this infection when we do not have the vaccine in place now. So obviously, vaccine is a hope, but we do not have it now. But what we can do as a country is to break the chain of infection. And if we can break the chain infection, then we can do it. During the battle of the battle of MCO, every one of us stay at home, and that's the safest place. When you stay at home, there's no social distancing. We can practice social distancing, and particularly physical distancing as well. When that was what we did in March, April, MCO 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we succeeded to flatten the curve just using the practice of staying at home and allow the public health intervention to take place at looking into every cluster and also every case detection. So that is something that we can repeat that again. If we do not have any important matters outside, we encourage the public to stay at home. So this is one success mechanism or even action plan that we have taken in March, April, and May. So we continue to, if you need to come out of the house, for example, to attend to urgent matters, then you must comply to the SOP. So you look into MCO, it is actually everybody stay at home. CMCO, we allow the economic sector to resume, but follow the SOP, not the social, not education, not sports. RMCO, we allow all sectors to resume back, but with the caveat, you must comply and adhere to the SOP. The issue now is that the non-compliance of the SOP at every level. So we are not blaming, but we are reminding every one of us to comply to SOP.
Just want to confirm, is it possible to come back to the first MCO It's terrible. The economic cannot afford the pressure.
This is the reason why we need to look into life and livelihood, the balance between health and economy. We need to look into how we can strike the right balance. It is not easy for us. It's certainly a challenge for us to strike a right balance between the two. So now we have to look into the data, whether we can contain the infection, and then we have to also look into the economy. So if you look into the 3 criteria from WHO, criteria number 1, looking of before they declare a state of emergency, we have to look into the infectivity, the rate of the spread. Criteria number 2 is the virulence, the fatality. If the fatality is very high and they spread very fast, these are the 2 criteria before they announce. The 3rd criteria will be the economic impact. So they have to look into the 3 areas before a declaration of state of emergency. This is also very important for us to balance in terms of the life and livelihood, health and economy. So we need to look into the economy, we need to look into the health aspect. Can we contain the infection? At the moment, we think that we can, because we can use our whatever we have done in March and April, and to use the public health intervention to contain the infection. So we also need the collaboration and cooperation of each and every individual in our country to comply to the SOP. By complying the SOP, you are breaking the chain of infection. If there's no urgency, please stay at home. If you need to go out of your home, please comply to the SOP, put on a mask, and then practice physical distancing. I think it's a simple message, but not easy to practice. Because of the fatigue. We understand the fatigue. But remember, we cannot let down our guards. If we have the fatigue and let down our guards, the virus will continue to spread. There's no fatigue for the virus, but there's fatigue for humans like us. So I hope that we can comply to the SOP. Okey, kalau tak ada soalan lagi, saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada semua rakyat Malaysia yang patuh pada SOP. Tidak kira siapa kita, pastikan kita, jaga keluarga kita, jaga masyarakat dan juga jaga negara kita. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.